Well, I recently checked out the third installment of the Equalizer series, and that put me in the mood to jump on board the John Wick series as well because I love action movies for one, and I love them because they're about action, making them the opposite of boring. But also because there's hidden inside of them is a microcosm of the nature of the universe told in an extreme way, especially the latest Equalizer movie. Now, let me explain that. The traditional action movie formula has a hero. There's a protagonist who has a couple of very important characteristics. Now, number one, he or she is a trained, highly skilled, and experienced killer. The best line in any action movie may have been one where a character in John Wick explains to another character just how awesome John Wick is at killing. He says, as a hitman, he says, "I once saw John Wick kill 3 men in a bar with a pencil." But while these people are amazing death machines, they're trying to get out of it and they've retired. They don't want to be this. They're trying to become and have become people of peace. John Wick was married, he's hanging out with his wife on the beach, and when we first meet the Equalizer, he's working at a Home Depot. Now, this has to be here because we need to sympathize with them. And that's important because even though they've done what we would say is bad, we need to think of them as good. And the desire to not be violent, to want to live in peace, is a mark of good. Now, in The Equalizer 3, Denzel finds his way into an idyllic village in Italy, and he adopts it as his true home. Now, we're shown that people are leading lives, filled with hard but honest work, laughter, family relationships, ethnic diversity, tradition, the simple life of good food and good times. Now, this is a symbol of peace that the Equalizer is looking for. Now, all of these elements set up for the drama. We have to like and identify with the main character. Now, he has to want and appreciate the peaceful and good life. Then evil enters, and all the peace and goodness is spoiled by evil. And it's very important that the evil character is viewed by us, the audience, as irredeemably evil. Now, typically, this is a Russian or Sicilian mafia type with some connection vaguely to Middle Eastern terrorist or something like that. And these evil people, they brazenly mess up all of the peace and good by, being evil. The evil guys usually have neck tattoos, they ride motorcycles, they're loud, they're brash, unfeeling, arrogant. They're bullies, and they pick on the innocent people of the village, demand their cut of the profits for protection, and they dominate them in a merciless way. Now, they are narcissistic psychopaths that will do something evil to the hero or to someone he loves and cares about. In The Equalizer, there's a family who's helped him out, and the bad guy beats the dad right in front of his wife and his little 5-year-old daughter. Then, to finish it off, he threatens worse. He threatens the dad by threatening the little girl, saying, "If you don't do what we say, I will kill your family in front of you." Now, that's the threat. In John Wick, they went next level with this theme. Their first bad guy kills John Wick's puppy. His puppy. And as if that's not enough, the puppy was a last gift from his dead wife to help him not be alone while mourning her loss. It's a beagle puppy. Arguably beagle puppies are the cutest puppies. In most people's minds, it doesn't get any worse and cold-blooded and evil than that. Now again, irredeemable evil is critical. Why? Because this will get us all to think one thing. The guy who killed the puppy or threatened the little girl, that guy deserves what our hero is about to deal out. He didn't want to go back to his killing ways, but we all know the evil has left him no choice. Why? Because, and we use this language ourselves, somebody has to pay. Justice must be done. That's the idea of the name, the Equalizer. Then we're entertained by watching the hero, kill all the bad guys in very creative and brutal ways. Now think about it. As long as the filmmakers do their job and adequately pile up just how evil that evil person is, and therefore deserves what he has coming to him, we're satisfied with the guy being thrown into like a wood chipper or something. And if he is, we leave satisfied. Justice has been done. Good is won. Peace is returned because evil has been overthrown. It's a good movie. Now, what's this have to do with the universe? Well, the Bible insists that there's certain features to the universe and who we are as human beings. There's a basic arc to the biblical story that action movies are borrowing from. And I believe that's why we find them compelling. See, these plots cooperate with our basic God-given wiring. First, the universe began as good. It was all about the good that we desire, filled with peace. The simple things, love of God, love of others, even the love of puppies was intended as the norm. But evil invaded the system and disrupted the good. Injustices started piling up, and these injustices, betrayals, and cruelties, they have a price. Someone should pay for the evil that is committed. You can pick up the news every day and see some kind of terrible evil that has been committed somewhere by someone. And when that happens, the instinct we have is that justice should be done. Now, for justice to be done, two things need to happen. We want to fairly and accurately ensure that the person accused of the evil is truly guilty of doing the evil. That's why we have trials, right? Two, if we prove beyond a reasonable doubt they committed the evil, then we try to come down on a suitable punishment for the evil. Now, in our day, we have concepts like consecutive life sentences. And when that is done, people will say things like, justice has been done. Now, the intriguing thing about this entire system is everyone treats it as if it's real. What I mean is, we all believe these laws of behavior are real in the sense that they're outside of us and they're above us, and they have authority over us, and we all together have an obligation to them. But the million-dollar question is, how is that true if there's no actual outside entity or personality there to make them true? Asked from the other direction, how can those moral ideas and obligations be over us and binding on us if everything came from nothing? If you go from nothing to atoms and then molecules and eventually plants and animals and us, and the entire system was unintended and unguided, how are we obligated in any way to think of moral ideas as having authority to tell us what we should and should not do, since atoms and molecules have no moral obligations? Now, those questions have been asked by some very smart people through the ages, and some have said their existence depends on there being a God. Others have said since there is no God, then those ideas aren't really real. We just think of them that way so we can live peaceful lives. But those same people acknowledge that the struggle of life at that point is to figure out how life has any ultimate meaning at all. How do we know that good and evil are real categories? Some say these ideas are social conventions that have been formed through evolution and the development of society. But the whole society of Germany after World War II was condemned as evil by other societies. And if it's true that societies decide what's right and wrong, why should I feel any real sense of true obligation to them, since society itself is just a product of atoms and molecules moving around? Why am I required to believe that a judge or a jury has any better sense of what's right or wrong than I do personally? Why do I have to care about right or wrong at all? Why do I have any obligation to someone else's sense of right and wrong, since in the end, it's all just a product of physical systems in people's brains anyway? So the biblical view of reality is that an infinite personal God made all things. He's the ground and source of all goodness. And from that, he has set his law inside of us and will judge things in the end. Now, it's been my observation that even people who say they don't believe in that version of reality will treat moral truths and a sense of moral law like it really is set up on that system, meaning an infinite personal God will judge good versus bad. No one outside of a narcissistic psychopath just chalks up moral ideas to random products of unguided forces. We treat them the way the Bible presents them, real obligations with real meaning. Now, if we treat it like the Bible presents it, we need to remember that the Bible goes on to make a few very good points. Number one, the Bible says that it is given to every person once to die and then the judgment. Two, a person that does wrong can deserve punishment. Three, the God who does the judging is morally pure, sees everything, knows everything, and that includes secrets, wrong motives, even words you've spoken. No one is getting away with anything. And if someone deserves punishment, they will receive exactly what they deserve. Four, we all have a problem. Perfect judgment will happen to everyone, and this includes that person on the news who committed a crime, but that also includes you and I. And according to the Bible, the perfect judge has let us know in advance we don't measure up. We aren't nearly as good as we think we are. Each of us will get our chance to stand before the pure good, but who knows every last subtlety of any evil we have committed. When you think about it, when you really grasp that, the good news of Jesus dying on the cross makes a lot more sense. Jesus was the only truly grown, adult, perfect person who didn't deserve any kind of punishment. He takes our punishment for us, so the price was paid by him, and we don't get what we deserve. Hope that helps. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.